News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
And just like that, it's winter. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Here it is Wednesday, November 25th, 2015. Sky right now, anyway, is mostly clear. We have 18 degrees after quite an afternoon and evening of snowfall and driving and traffic and crashes. And well, let's go ahead and get started with our coverage here. Right now, it gets clear and 18 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast sponsored by Missoula Nissan Hyundai. Drive what you want affordably. Stop by today and find out how leasing could be your best deal on a new car. It only took a few hours yesterday for Old Man Winter to set up shop in western Montana. I spoke with Dave Noble from the National Weather Service office in Missoula earlier this morning. He provided these snow totals.
The most snow that we received was 7 inches in Lolo and also a location near South Hills of Missoula. We got a report from Bonner of 6 inches, and also Kyla had 5.5 inches, Hungry Horse 5 inches, Evero Hill 5 inches, and then southwest of West Glacier, 5 inches, Anaconda, 4.5 inches.
Most of that 7.5 inches in the South Hills was on my 150-foot driveway. All right, but anyway, Missoula County Sheriff's Deputy Dave Hash estimates the number of calls for service received during the first winter storm of the season.
Yeah, it was horrible. Driving home, Highway 93 South, just headed to Lolo. I was in my lane just fine. Driving slow for...
Actually, that is Billy Jenkins from the Billy and Shireen Morning Show. I spoke with Billy just a few minutes ago as he was on his way home last night, and the KISS FM Jeep was totaled. Here's Billy's story.
Yeah, it was horrible. Driving home, Highway 93 South, just headed to Lolo. I was in my lane just fine. Driving slow, four-wheel drive engaged, and next thing I know, there was a guy that was going northbound, slid completely off the roadway and slammed right into the side of me, almost went head on. The KISS FM Jeep, it looks like it's totaled. Also, his Jeep Cherokee was also, it looks like it's totaled as well. I'm okay, but those are the road conditions we're dealing with right now.
Missoula County Sheriff's Deputy Dave Hash does estimate the number of calls for service received during the first winter storm of the season.
At the start of the shift, there was lots of slide-ins and crashes all over the county. I'd have to estimate probably maybe between 100 to 125 calls when that snowstorm was actually occurring. And then after it stopped, about that 8 o'clock, 8:30 hour when people finally made it home, calls for service really dropped off.
There was one fatality on I-90 yesterday morning about 11 near Gold Creek just after the snow started to fall. A 74-year-old woman from Laurel was killed. Highway Patrol dispatcher provides these details.
The vehicle was westbound on Interstate 90. The driver lost control of the truck, and it started fishtailing. The vehicle then went off the right shoulder of the roadway and through a fence. The vehicle began to roll, and the driver was ejected from the vehicle and was pronounced on scene.
The unidentified woman was not wearing a seatbelt. Authorities are warning that roads are still very slick and to use caution while driving. University of Montana Faculty Senate met yesterday afternoon in the Urey Lecture Hall to discuss the recent announcement of budget and staff cuts due to reduced enrollment. One faculty member who attended the meeting, UM history professor Mirdad Kia, provided KGVO News with his perception of the meeting last night. Kia said it became apparent that the staff cuts could be more extensive than were originally announced last week by President Royce Engstrom.
201 FTE will definitely translate into more than 300 and maybe in the 300 range. Some people suggested maybe up to 400 head count in terms of cuts of individuals, both in staff and the faculty.
Kia said some faculty members were considering contacting state officials outside the realm of higher education to state their case of frustration with the administration's proposed cuts.
There are some faculty members who, for the first time, are speaking about the possibility of approaching Governor Bullock directly, because it doesn't seem that the Board of Regents and the Commissioner of Higher Education understand the crisis that we are confronting today.
Kia also addressed the issue of cutting costs in the administration to help bring the budget into balance. But he said the administration claims that cuts have already been made.
Their position is, in fact, that they have cut sufficient amount of money from the bureaucracy and there is no other place to go to cut more bureaucratic positions. To some of us, it sounds like a cruel joke, but there is a very stubborn resistance to the idea of cutting the bureaucracy and the administration.
Now, to be fair, KGVO News has reached out to the university administration for their view of yesterday's meeting. Will provide their response as soon as it becomes available. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say 19 people in 7 states have contracted E. coli in an outbreak linked to Costco chicken salad. We just heard about that on Fox News a moment ago. The strain of Shiga toxin-producing E. coli can be life-threatening. However, no deaths have yet been reported. The CDC says 5 people have been hospitalized. 2 have developed a type of kidney failure. The CDC and state health officials are investigating. They don't know what ingredient in the rotisserie chicken salad made and sold in Costco wholesale stores is the likely source of the outbreak. Health officials advise those who bought chicken salad at any U.S. Costco store on or before this past Friday to throw it away, even if no one has become sick. People have fallen ill in California, Colorado, Missouri, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and here in Montana as well. A bail hearing is scheduled next month for a Montana State prison inmate whose conviction and life sentence for deliberate homicide were overturned after a judge ruled evidence withheld from the defense could have led to a different outcome. District Judge James Wheelis ordered a new trial for Richard Raugust in the July 1997 shooting death of his best friend Joe Tash in northwestern Montana. The Flathead Beacon reports Wheelis has scheduled a December 4th hearing to decide if Raugust can be released from prison on bond pending a new trial. After hearing arguments on the case, Wheelis found that prosecutors withheld from Raugust's defense attorneys information that supported his alibi that he had stayed in Trout Creek on the night of the killing. Thanksgiving weekend signals the end of the general rifle hunting season, according to spokeswoman Vivica Krauser. This year is shaping up to be one of the best in the recent years.
Headed into the final week here of the 5-week season, and so far our harvest is ahead of at least where we were last year, and in a couple cases we're up over the last 5 years as well. So we are, if we look at the combined harvest of elk, mule deer, and white-tailed deer that have come through, we're 17% above where we were at this point last season.
Biggest boon to hunters this year, white-tailed deer. The harvest is better than any year since 2008.
It's been a good season for whitetail harvest, and especially considering the regulations have really been ratcheted back compared to what they were prior to 2008. So people have been seeing the deer and having pretty good success this year. The elk harvest is 294 compared to 211 last season, and we see most of the elk through the Darby Station.
Checkpoints have counted nearly 12,000 hunting trips, around 900 animals harvested. Newstalk Times 612.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with just a slight chance of a few lingering snow showers. Highs will top out in the mid to low 20s. Wind chill readings, though, will make it feel like it's below zero at times, as winds gust as high as 30 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.